Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and welcome to the 31st episode of my Rails of Industry Minecraft series. In today's episode, I'm going to be moving items from my new base, in which I'm creating items up here, to my main base right here via Rails. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to lay down a bunch of electric track, and I want to do this on this bridge right here. And so let's go ahead and do that. This is going to be a simple process. First off, I'm just going to lay basically a loop of track on either side, and obviously I'm laying down electric track. I am going to be using an electric locomotive to power this, but I'm also going to be using some modular carts for storage, because I'm going to be moving a lot more items than I have previously, so I decided that I would probably need a little bit more storage in my carts than previously. So unfortunately, these butterflies are kind of getting in my way, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal, because I can just whack them out of the way if they are in my way. So let's go ahead and lay down this track. You know what, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to lay most of the track off camera. I'm just basically going to lay all of the track that I'm going to put on the bridge. Basically, I'm going to have two lines, one on either side of the torches. And once I have all of the track laid down, I will be right back. So I now have all of the track laid down between my two bases. And the next thing I need to do is I actually need to power the track. So let's get started with that. And what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to build a flux capacitor, or not flux capacitor, but flux transformers underneath the tracks right here. And I'm also going to do it right here. This is a rather good location for the flux transformers, because I don't even have to build any electrical conduit here, because they are already going to be up against the cryo-stabilized flux duct. So that is one benefit of putting them right here. And obviously it will be under the track, so I don't need to run any electrical lines of any sort to actually get the power to the track. At least that's the theory. So let's go ahead and place the first one down. That should be active, and then this one should be active as well. And then if I go ahead and place down my electric locomotive, it should get power, and that is fantastic. It is getting power. So let's get rid of this guy. And what I need to do is I need to build another set of flux transformers underneath the track at the other end of the lines here. So what I'm going to do somewhere about the midpoint is I'm going to replace a couple of the tracks with regular tracks, and that's just to kind of segregate my electrical grids here, so that one will be here, one electrical zone will be here, one electrical zone will be here, and then one will be here, and the other will be here. So I'll have 4 different electrical areas powered by each of the flux transformers. So that should be nice and should work pretty well. So let me see here. Theoretically, if I build it, let's say right here, this will be a good spot for this. I'm hoping that the flux duct is right there. It is, so that is good to see. And then let's go ahead and build the other flux transformers. Okay, so let's test these out again. So let's put this here. Let's get our crowbar right here. This should get power. It did. And then let's put this down over here, and it's getting power. So cool. So it looks like everything's working as intended. The next thing I will need to do is I actually need to get items into carts, and I need to do that on I need to do that over here on the other end of the line. I need to get items out of the carts. So let's run this line quite a ways in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it. Let's say right here is a good point to loop it. And even though they are now connected electrically, that will be undone here in a little bit, because I will need to use some advanced detector track. So the plan for right now is let's go ahead and put some cargo managers down. I'm going to put 6 of them down, And what I need to do is, I'm not going to be using external distributors on these. At least that is the plan right now. I'm pretty sure I won't need to. So what we're going to do is, all slots are shared by all sides. So that is the first step. And then what I need to do is on yellow. So let's change this to yellow. I need to say go straight, and I need you to unload things to the cart. So that should work as intended. So the rest of this I just need to black out. And clearly I'm really good. I keep forgetting that I can right click to go the reverse direction on these colors. So now that I have the other ones blacked out, what I need to do with the remaining cargo managers here is I need to set them to yellow. I need to transfer items into the chest parts of the carts. And I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, and once I have all of these configured, I will be right back. Now that I have my cargo managers configured, I need to do a few things. First off, I want to place down an individual detector track, and I want to put it, or advanced detector track rather, and I want to put it right here. And hopefully this will work out to where the other cargo managers can still transfer their cargo to the carts, but hopefully I will only need to use this one advanced detector rail. So let's hope that that works. And then the next thing is I need to get items from here to the cargo managers over there. So I brought along some item conduit, and that's because with the extract speed upgrades, item conduit can transfer items quite a bit quicker than can item duct. So that's the goal there. Also, I want to scrap a few things. So all of the poor ore that I have, and actually let me go ahead and clean up my inventory real fast. I shouldn't need any more of this track. Let's just keep a little bit just because. And then I might need a little bit of that. So let's keep that. Obviously I'll need this and some stone. So that's all the stuff I should need. So let's look up poor. I'm going to be scrapping all of this. There's not much reason for me to keep this stuff. It does not smelt down to very much. So I'm just going to go ahead and scrap it. It's not much of a loss, to be honest. So I think that is all of the poor ore. So the first step here is I need to get that scrapped. And actually, this would be a little bit better if I would have run my item duct elsewhere. And I actually might move where I have this modular storage, and I think I am going to. So let's go ahead and pick this guy up. And let's move him right here. I think is going to be a better spot. And that's because I want to grab some item duct right here. I only should need one. Let's place that right there. Let's get rid of that connection. And then items should still be able to flow into here. So it looks like it's working, and that is because I want to extract items out of the bottom with the item conduit, so I don't have to ugly up my floor here. And let's go ahead and set down some item conduit here. I need this to be extract always on. Let's go ahead and put in the maximum amount of extract speed upgrades, and then let's see here. Let's grab a couple filters, and I want 2 filters. Actually, no, I'm going to need 2 filters, but not where I originally had planned here in my head. So let's grab a trash can as well, because I need a mechanism to get rid of the items that I don't want. And let's go ahead and actually, let's set this to not be on right now. Let's set this to never active, because what I want to do is I want to place down this trash can. I want to set this to insert. I want to put in a filter here. And I want to whitelist things. And apparently I'm going to need more filters. Or a better filter. I'm just going to go ahead and grab more filters, because I can just simply do this with more filters. I'm not sure. Round robin disabled. I think this will put the items into the nearest inventory. I'm not 100% sure on that. So let's grab my flux bore. Let's set this to tunnel mode. Actually, I think I need to, actually that'll work fine. If I build a tunnel right here, that should be kind of a landmark as I tunnel over, because I'm going to be tunneling blind. Okay, so I need to go over one more. And I should go right by my structural duct here. And I went too far, that's fine. Okay, so there are 6 of these, so that should be the final one. Let's go ahead and set these up. These need to be on insert. And actually, what I want to do is I want to set this far end to the highest priority. So let's do 7 and then 6. I totally forgot about the priority thing. And then 5 and then 4. This can be 3 and 2. So basically, the items will flow to this end cargo manager first, and that's because this cargo manager is going to be the one attached to this advanced detector rail. The advanced detector rail is the mechanism that will actually stop the train, at least hopefully. So that's why I'm doing that. And let's go ahead and set this up to be an even higher priority yet. And we are going to whitelist all of this poor ore. And then let's go ahead and set this to be a high priority as well. And this can whitelist the remainder. Okay, so I think I have everything set up. All of the correct things to be scrapped, so let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of our spare cobblestone. And I think, actually, it looks like I need to do a little bit more tunneling here. I think I can go ahead and drop this down and then run this over. And then let's go ahead and turn this on. Let's see if anything is coming over here yet. It is. That's fantastic. This is exactly what I want to see. The next step is I need to actually playtest this, I guess. So let's go ahead and clean this up real fast. I should have some covers laying around somewhere. And I also have some carts somewhere. Let's see here. So I think my train is going to be a locomotive, and let's try 4 of these modular carts for right now. So let's set up the train to be here. I want to have him going this way. And then let's put down the carts. Now these carts are just chests. They consist of a top chest, side chest, and then 2 internal storage. That's all they are. They are Steve's carts, modular carts. They are definitely not the best I could build, but they are really cheap and pretty effective. At least they should be. So let's see if this has power right now. It does. And what I want it to do is I want it to creep along. And hopefully the detector track here stops it and then starts loading the carts. It did not, so that is not what I want. So let's see here. There should be, let me try something else. So let's grab a comparator here. I want to know if this thing lets off a redstone signal. It does not, so let's see here. At least I don't think it does. No, it does not. Okay, so It is transferring items though, so that is good to see. At least it appears to be. So I just need a mechanism for this to stop. I could do something like a timer. And I might go that route. I think I can build a timer. So let's back this thing up. And let's grab some stuff. So I want to grab a sticky piston. Let's go ahead and stop you, sir. Let's grab a sticky piston. I don't think I'm going to need that. A detector track. Let's see here. So actually, I want to... What kind of other track do we have? I might go with a locking track. Yeah, let's go with a locking track. Because I think that's what I'm using over there for my train over there. I think I'm using locking track. Might be wrong with that one. But I think what we'll do is we'll put the locking track right here. And that looks good. And that'll stop the locomotive right there. So the other carts should be back behind here, being fed by the cargo managers. And then I need to set up a detector track. So let's get some electric detector track here. And let's go ahead and set it up, say right here. So I think that without signal, the locking track will lock up the locomotive and not allow it to pass. Let me double check that. It might be the other way around. I can't remember. Okay, so right now it is locked, so that's cool. So let's see here. The detector track. Okay, so that's not going to be a good place for the detector track because it is still being triggered by that cart. So that is something I need to keep in mind there. So actually that works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and set it to be right here. And what I'm going to do now is some tunneling. And let's set up a tunnel right here as well. And what do I have this set to? 1 by 2. That's correct. Okay, so I think I'm going to need a timer. Oh shoot, I forgot. This thing doesn't like to build timers automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over to my main area. I'm going to grab a couple of timers and then I will be right back. So I've got my timers with me and I've actually picked up a couple of sequencers because using the sequencers might actually make things just a little bit easier here. I also need to grab some structural duct and some redstone relays. So let's grab those. And there we go. That should be all I need, I think. So what I need to do first is obviously I need to grab the redstone signal from this detector track here, and let's do that with the structural duct and the redstone relay. And input on red, that's fine. So then we can go ahead and let's dig out just a little area right here. That way I have a little room to play here. And then what we're going to do is let's drop this down one more. And then I'm going to have my relay, my output relay right here next to a sticky piston. Let's put that there. And that will have a redstone block attached to it. And right here, let's have a sequencer. And okay, so I need to have it set to once one. Okay, that should be good. Once one. And then what I want to do is I want to have the last signal be enabled. So let's see here, delay 1. And I think I need this delay to be longer than that. I think the delay is basically how long it stays on each step. So let's see here. What's this? 8 by 8 maybe? Yeah, 8 by 8, so there's 64 steps here. Oh, it does. Says right here. Derp. Let's set this to be 30. Let's set this to be 20. And so what this is, I'm saying each step takes 20 ticks. So basically 1 second, and then the sequence length is 30 steps. So that'd be 30 seconds. So basically this train should stay here for 30 seconds, should this work correctly. When the detector track is activated up above, what should happen is this piston should fire. It is a sticky piston. It'll send out this block of redstone to activate the sequencer to start its sequence. It will not give any redstone signal off until 30 seconds later, and then it will give a short pulse. And I actually need a longer pulse than that because otherwise the locking track will actually lock onto some of the carts as they pass and won't allow the full train to pass. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that. And you know what, let's go ahead and up the sequence length here. So if I do 30, and actually I am making a mistake here. So the sequence length is only 30. So I actually need to figure out which is the 30th block here. This would be 32, so this would be 30. Let's go ahead and actually make this, let's do 40, because that would be 5 of these rows here. So let's do that. So it'll stay put for 32 seconds, at least hypothetically, and then the next 8 seconds the locking track will allow the train to go through. That should be enough time for the train to actually make it through. So looks like I have kind of trapped myself in. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I need to do is I need to give this thing a redstone pulse here. And we can do that via structural duct and redstone relay again. So let's get rid of some of this crap that I don't need. Let's grab a couple of these relays again. Let's grab some more structural duct. I think I'm going to need a little bit more of that. And I accidentally sorted my inventory, which is kind of sad, because now nothing is where it was. Okay, so this needs to be an output. And then let's go ahead and run this along. We need to have our input right here. And the arrows on the sequencer here show exactly what direction it is sending a redstone pulse and where it is getting its redstone pulse to activate the sequence. Obviously the blue being the input, the orange being the output. Okay, so this needs to be input on red. That is fantastic. So let's go up here. And one thing I have noticed here that these cargo managers are not outputting items like I want. So I'm probably going to have to replace these with the advanced unloaders from Railcraft. But that should be fine. They do work with the modular cards. I did test that earlier. But as you can see, some of these modular cards don't have anything in them, which means they're not working. So that is unfortunate. So what I'm going to do real fast to test this out is let's go ahead and tell this to reverse. Okay, so it's locked right now. That is what's going on. So let me give it a pulse, maybe. It should have gone. Okay, so that is output on red. Let's just go ahead and back up the train. So let's try this again. So let's put that here, the locomotive here. Let's relink these. Let's send him on his way. And in a little bit, this should pulse and let him go. Come on. Let's come down here to see if this thing is... Okay, so it should be releasing him. It's not. So something is clearly up with that. The locking track doesn't want to unlock. So let me play with this. I'm not sure what the different modes here are, but let's try that. I think that'll give us a better chance here. So once again, let's twist him around. Let's reconnect him. Let's tell him to go. Okay, where are we at? Sub 17. So he's getting close here. I would have expected him to be going by now. Okay, so something is still up. Yep, he should be unlocked by now. He's not. And I'm just making sure I'm doing all my counting correctly. But that is not ideal here. You know what? Let's go ahead and unlink these two carts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending this guy back and forth to trigger my locking track here. What I'm going to do right now, I think, is I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to figure out if I can get this locking track to activate via this redstone circuit here. And if I can't, I'll have to come up with something else. So I'm going to do a little bit of troubleshooting, and once I figure something out, I will be right back. So I think I've got something figured out. I have replaced the cargo managers with the advanced item loaders, and these should work a lot better because apparently the cargo managers did not want to insert into the carts unless they had the advanced detector track, or maybe it was that they weren't perfectly aligned, but either way they weren't working. So I've come up with, I think, what's going to be a clever little plan here to get around this. So I'm going to set this up much the same way I have my train set up in my other train, I guess, the train that I currently have running. But what we're going to do is on this last advanced item loader is I'm going to put this modular cart into the cart buffer here, or I guess sorting. So this advanced item loader will only give items to this particular cart. This particular cart is actually slightly different from these other carts because its sequence of different chests is different. So most of the chest carts that I have built have the standard hull, top chest, side chest, internal storage ×2 in that order. That is important. This one has side chests before the top chests. So this should allow me to plop this guy down here. And if we go ahead and hook him up like that, and then go ahead and throw down the locomotive, let's go ahead and twist him around. Let's link these guys up. What should happen, oh, first I need to put the locking track kit here. Forgot about that. So the advanced item loader will give this a signal once it is ready to go. And let's see here. I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and tell him to get moving. I think he'll let him pass. Yes, and then he should lock up right here. And then once this is empty, or once it's done with the operation, it should let him go. So obviously these other advanced item unloaders are working as well, except for this one because that chest is actually full. Apparently this one does not see this chest or this chest cart, but that's okay. So once either this cart is full or this advanced item unloader is empty, it will allow it to pass. And as you can see, it is allowing the other carts to pass. So that is fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm going to let this thing climb this hill here. And then I need to go ahead and replicate the system at the other end. But that shouldn't be a problem now that I know what I'm doing. And it actually is fairly simple here. So let's go ahead and stop him. No, let's stop him. No, stop. And let's actually speed him up once I get him started again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate the system down here except with the advanced item unloaders. And once I have that done, I will be right back. So I have my system replicated down here except with the advanced item unloaders. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. And let's race it back so that we can see if it's going to work out or not. I did have another one of those special modular carts where the side chests are before the top chests so that I could set the sorting for the last item unloader again. And let's see if this thing runs over any of the butterflies. Let's see if we can see some death. There's a butterfly right there. Get him. Didn't get him. Darn. There's another couple. Get him. Nothing. Maybe he did. But he's out. Why are you out of power? Okay, so that's really interesting because I have a flux transformer right here. And it should have plenty of power. That is very interesting. I don't even know what's going on here. Because there's no way that that should be a problem. And let's find where I have the disconnect here. And then let's connect that up. And let's see if that fixes anything. So let's grab me some track here. Should only need 2. Let's go ahead and just connect all this up. See if that fixes anything. It did. Okay, so that's cool. So I don't know why that was being finicky right there, because I mean my flux can they're right here. I mean that shouldn't be an issue. So that looks good. He locked up and he's looks like pulling the items out. Let's see if the other ones are pulling their items out as well. So that's pretty fantastic. Let's see if he completes his mission here before he moves on. But it looks like this is gonna work out. Except for maybe I might have to deal with a little bit of the finickiness of this electric track here. Oh, so I didn't even know he would grab this because this chest is a little bit, or this cart is a little bit different. But you know what, that's perfectly okay, to be honest, so I'm not going to complain. It should still work even if it does decide to grab these other carts like this. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a good build. The last thing I do need to do is I need to get the items out of here and into my ME system. So I just simply need to grab an import bus. I need to grab some facades. Should have 2 of those. Let's grab some stone. And let's batter our way out here. And I don't have a connection, but I can fix that. So let's get some covered blue cable. First off, let's drill this out. Let's put that cable down, and then let's do the facades so that I can make this look nice and pretty. And then we can connect it up like this. And then we should be able to put the import bus here. Let's grab some acceleration cards because we are going to be dealing with a lot of items, so we will want to speed this import bus up a little bit. And we are grabbing the items out, so that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and fix this hole in the wall, and then I'm going to call this good. So in today's episode, I built this system which should send this cart traveling back and forth, and I actually want to speed this up real fast. This train, rather, back and forth, and he should get all the items from over there to over here so that I can send them to my processing area from here. So that's pretty fantastic. If you enjoyed today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation type stuff in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel because that's kind of what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.